Genesis GV60, Genesis's top-selling electric car, and they've been in the UK since 2021. Fairly new, very rare, and very cool. Now, I've been driving this car a week, and it gave me some Bentley vibes, and I thought, interesting. I did a bit of digging, and I found out one of the designers from Bentley switched sides to Genesis, and we'll talk more about that later on in this episode. It's got some very cool, quirky features that I'm super excited to show you. I think you're going to like it, and also I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, what is the best trim level to get for the Genesis GV60. So let's get on with it. Okay, before anything else in this episode, I really want to show you the quirky features that this Genesis GV60 has, because in my opinion, they are really worth talking about. This thing has drift mode, facial recognition software from Genesis. They are the first manufacturer to bring it to the UK and Europe. However, when I tried to do it 3 times when the car was dropped off, it didn't work for me. When you start the car, this happens. It's a ball. It's got a boost mode, which when you jab it, gives you more power for 10 seconds. It's got sustainable materials from plant-based leather and recycled PET bottles and fishnets. It's got something called VGS, Virtual Gear Shift. You press it and the car turns into an internal combustion engine. Listen. Inside the Genesis GV60, let me hit you with some stats first of all. This is the Sport Plus. It's got 483 brake horsepower. It's got 700 Newton meters of torque, and it will go 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4 seconds using the boost mode, which we will try later on. It's absolutely insanely gorgeous inside. Plush material everywhere, headliner suede, big chunky steering wheel, flappy regenerative paddles, which we'll talk about. I've got a blind vision monitor as well. The Sport Plus starts at £67,000, but this is 75k, so you can see how many extras they've added. So we'll talk a little bit about trim levels. You get Premium, which is 54k, you get the Sport, and then the Sport Plus. Now the Premium will do 0 to 62 in 7.8 seconds, and that gets 329 miles of range. The Sport Plus gets 289 miles of range. So in my head, I'm thinking 54k, it's a lot cheaper, and I get more miles. That's rear-wheel drive. This is all-wheel drive, and I just think Premium is probably the one to go for. Charging. The GV60 has a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. You can charge it up if you find a fast charger, 350 kilowatts. That's going to do 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. Awesome if you find a fast charger. 50 kilowatts, that's going to do 10 to 80% in 73 minutes. Charge it up on a wall box at home at 7.4 kilowatts. It's going to be just under 12 hours. And if you've got an 11 kilowatt, a 3-phase, lucky you, that's going to be around 7 hours.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, might break a backbone. Return to the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash. I
want to talk to you about competition. Now this is on the eGimp platform, or the eGMP. And the other cars that are on that, the Kia EV6, the Ioniq 5. The Ioniq 5 is a £43.5 thousand car. The Kia EV6 you can get 45k. Other competition, the Model Y, 45k rear wheel drive. So I'm thinking of the premium £54,000 trim level one. Now the Audi Q4, that starts at around 50k, and we've had the Q4, and I think this has got just so much more wow factor than the Audi Q4, and that's an Audi guy saying that. I love Audis. Then you look at the Mercedes-Benz EQB. Now that's 54k, but again for me, the Mercedes B-Class exterior has always been a little bit weird for me, a little bit bulbous. It just looks a little bit out of place compared to the other models. And then obviously above that, you know, 60s, 70s, you're looking into the BMW territory. So my question to you is, what would you rather have over the Genesis GV60, looking around that kind of 54,000 price point? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about the Genesis GV60's boot space, 432 litres, which is less than the Kia EV6, but they have thought about cable space underneath, so I'll show you. We'll lift it up, we've got the cables here. I've been using the 3-pin plug cable, and one thing that does annoy me is that it's hard to kind of push it all back in neatly. So when I do put this down, it does kind of stick up, and I don't really have time to get it all back in there neatly. This is kind of handy, it's like a little shelf. But yeah, 432 litres, you can put those down and get more space. So still very usable, but leave it. On the Genesis, GV60, it has a frunk, which is awesome. Not all electric cars have a frunk. Let's have a look at it. Here it is. Look at all that space. Oh, okay, oh yeah, this is the Sport Plus trim, so it's all-wheel drive. This is 20 litres of frunk space, and you get a little fishnet there. On the open road here, I'm going to tell you how this Genesis GV60 feels. And I've got to say, suspension-wise, it is comfortable. It's definitely a lot more comfier than some of the other electric vehicles we've reviewed here at Car Chat TV. And the handling is really good at the moment. I've got it in comfort mode. You've got Eco, Comfort and Sport. Obviously, the Eco is a little bit more subdued, less responsive. Comfort, steering lightens off a bit, and then Sport, you know, everything stiffens up. And you've got maximum accelerator response there. But it's really comfy, and that's the thing I want to talk to you about. The suspension is great. I wish I'd have filmed it. I went over a cattle grid, and normally it's like do 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 do. And me and Adam both looked at each other and we went, that was surprisingly smooth, wasn't it? A little bit of a cattle grid test. That's a good one for the future. So no complaints here. Very comfortable, plush, smooth ride. But then again, starting at £54,000 for the premium trim level of this car, you expect it to be comfortable, don't you? And earlier in the intro I told you about Bentley, and when I look at the seats, it screams Bentley, because this one's got the Napa leather seats, diamond quilted, and when I look at the design, it just reminds me of the time when we filmed with the Bentegas. We did a bit of a comparison between old and new Bentayga, and it just gave me Bentley vibes, and that's why I started thinking there's got to be some sort of link here. And I'd done a bit of digging and I found about the design and moving over. But honestly, inside this car, a lot of people won't know about Genesis, and they'll go, what? It's only been around since 2021. But if you want a plush, beautiful experience inside of a car, this is not only quirky, but it's just really cool. Like, the leather feels soft. I think the sustainable materials, plant-based leather. We've got recyclable materials from PET bottles and fishnets as well, which I think we spoke about in the features. But the headline is good, and I know I'm sitting in the Sport Plus, right? But even in the premium, it'll plush and fancy. It's basically the fancy version of Hyundai, like what Lexus is to Toyota, and what some people say what Audi is to VW. I love how all of the buttons not only work, but feel great. The designers have gone one step further. Even the window buttons, you just want to play with them. You've got this tool here that moves your wing mirrors left and right, and that tool, you just rotate a dial, and then they've mixed in a touchscreen infotainment, two 12.3 inches. It works really well, super responsive, and I get a rotary dial to play with to move it, so it's not too dangerous when I'm driving along. They've really thought about everything, just above and beyond. Now, one thing I do want to talk about and what I want to try is, I've got some windy roads. I'm going to jab it in sport mode. Feel the bolsters grab me, and I'm going to see how this Genesis GV60, over 2.5 tons of car, how it does well with the handling of the car. Because so far, just potting around, it's done really well. I've got a left-hand corner here. Oh, it stayed pretty flat. I'm onto the pedal though, and it moves, and it just shifts. You forget how heavy this car is, because it's so quick. It is so quick, and apologies not looking at the camera, I'm just concentrating. And the handling is great. And you know, I've read a few reviews online where a lot of the reviewers have complained about the handling, because normally when you have a bit of a softer suspension, but it's so nominal, you can't tell the difference. The handling is great, and in this sport mode, the car is really grippy as well. All-wheel drive, throw it into the corners, and it just puts a smile on your face. And this is a wide car as well. A quick tip, if you have your charging cable plugged into your car and you want to pull it out but it's not working, it's glitching and it's stuck, literally come to the boot of your car and then undo this little cover there. That pops out, this circular cover. Put your fingers in there, and what you'll see is a little purple dangly thing. Give that a little tug, like that. You can see I've got it in my hands. And you pull that, and then that will unlock your cable, and then simply you can just disconnect. We're going to check out boost mode. I'm in sport. I've put the boost 0 to 62, 4 seconds. Let's go. Whoa, Jesus! And that's it. Whoa! Okay, I was not expecting that. That was nuts! That feels faster than 4 seconds. So what I did, I just put it in sport mode, and then when you're in sport mode, hit the boost, and then on the gauge, it just shows you the little boost. But what's also good is when you're driving along, you can just hit boost. Gee! Oh my God! I can't slow down. This is, oh my God, this is nuts. This car is too quick for the UK roads. I jabbed that and it gave me 10 seconds of boost. And you can do that in comfort, you can do that in sport, I think you can do that in eco as well. And as you can see, I probably was screaming down your speakers, which I'm sorry about, but that is just absolutely insane. Okay, I want to take you on a little bit of a journey of a walk around of the exterior of the Genesis GV60, because it's a very interesting looking car. It's got the signature Genesis split headlamps. You see that at the back as well with the taillights. I like the bumper, all right, very angular. The split is cool, got a little bit of a tooth here. It's got an interesting feature, clamshell bonnet, and if you look around the side, come with me this way, you can see how the bonnet merges into the fender. So really, your fender's only here, which makes it very smooth, very sleek. But I'm kind of umming and ahhing. I love the coupe sportback design element here, but it's the front I'm still not too sure on, and I'm genuinely interested to see if people really love the look of this car. So let me know in the comments. We've got 21 inches. This is the Sport Plus. The wheels look cool. The popping lime calipers are wicked as well. It's a £280 option. This car's like 75k with the amount of options it's got on it, and we'll talk about that later. I don't think it needs this chrome. I think a futuristic car like this could do with a chrome delete. The colour is Adriatic Blue, which is £740 option. I probably would go for Store Green, which is a matte £1,100. I think it would look a bit better with the matte colours. And I've never really been a fan of blue and black. So the chrome, I think it should be gone. This is my favourite bit of the car. The back looks cool. The split tail lights here, I think look fancy. You've got the Genesis badge in there. I've always liked this to be colour coded. This cladding. They keep putting this cladding on cars now, you know, SUV crossover, but the car sits so low. It doesn't feel that much like an SUV. It's just like an amalgamation. So it's a little bit of a crossover. Cool wheels. You've got roof rails up here as well, but these are black. That's a little bit of a walk around of the Genesis GV60. Sometimes I look at it and I go, would you look at that? Yeah, that's a good looking car. And then other days, I'm not too sure. I think it's the blue. Okay, now I have Adam in the back with me. This car feels so comfortable with the suspension I spoke about earlier. But what's it like as a passenger in the rear, Adam?
So, I'm bringing you the back of the GV60, and yeah, it's a little bit dark because we've chosen to film at dusk. But what I can report is, although this car is quite small, and I was quite shocked at how small it was or how small it looked from the outside, it's actually got quite a lot of space on the inside. Like literally my leg room, I've got loads of it, so there's plenty of that. The materials in here are really smooth. I quite like that the rear bench is all just flat, so you can just, you know, move around if you need to. As you can see, plenty of room for my camera gear. It does sort of feel like you're quite, I don't know what the word is, but like looking down on people in front of you. It sort of feels quite nice. Although it is quite a small car. Let me just show you the doors. So you've got heated seats in the back with a bit of ambient light and a cup holder there. The door bins, they're really small, so you're not going to be able to get much in there. And you've got USB chargers down there, which is quite good, and a big cavity. You can't really see, there's a big cavity in the middle of the car that you could fit all sorts of stuff in. I don't know if you might be able to get a child in there, I'm not too sure. And you've got nice vents as well here, which is quite nice. I'll briefly show you that. So yeah, I would say the back is quite a nice place.
Now at the moment, on my digital dash, I've got a front camera, which you can kind of see. I don't know why you would use it, but I think maybe if it has a software update and you get some augmented reality for the sat nav, then it would work. And I just think that's kind of a really cool feature. And also, when you go over to your infotainment, you've got this thing called 3D settings, and it shows the car. This is really, really clever from Genesis. And you can move the car around 360, spin it around, and then you can click see inside, and you can make changes to all of the car, and you can turn off your heads-up display from here and so forth. I don't really need it, but it is on. And then also, I'm just going to indicate up here because I really, really want to show you the quality of the cameras. The quality of the cameras are fantastic. And this car also has remote assist parking. Of course it has, right? It's been spec'd up pretty high. So it's got the remote assist parking, so you put it in front of the parking spot, and then on the key, you can press forward and backward. We've seen it on the Kia EV6, and then you can literally squeeze it in, get out of the car and squeeze the car in a space. But look at this, these are the cameras. So we've got a 360 camera here, looks great. We've got cameras here, and I've got different modes here. Check around, surrounds through safety. Yeah, I've done that. And it's very, very crisp and clear. The best top quality cameras you expect, just as good as anything else on other manufacturers. Very clear. And today's really dark. You can see we're not even shooting that late. It's just about to turn 4 o'clock, but it's the winter here in the UK. And I just wanted to show you this because I think that's really cool, 3D settings. And then if I press and hold, if I put the car into park and I press and hold auto hold, or the camera even, sorry, I think it's the camera button. There we go, remote parking instructions. I said that weird. But leave the vehicle, keep the key, close the doors, and then you can press and hold forwards and backwards on the key fob. So that's how you do it. You just put the car into park and then press and hold the parking camera button, and you are away. What do you guys think about that quality? For an £880 option, you can have a vehicle to load on this GV60 as well, which means you can charge up other appliances. In the back, under the boot floor, you have one of these. It comes out, you put this in. Let's do it, I want to put it in. Let's put it in. Take this little cover off, rubber cover, and you can pop it in there, and then you can see there, you've got your 3-pin plug. You can plug a kettle or a microwave or whatever, and then you can put your dangly little cable in this little bit. It's actually quite soft and rubbery, so that's quite cool there. And then also you've actually got a 3-pin plug under your rear seats, which we can't get open, but that can charge up to 3.5 kilowatts. So you could literally charge another electric car here with a 3-pin plug socket, putting it in under your seats. A lot of electric cars offer that charging capability, but sometimes it's for laptops and phones. But 3.5 kilowatts under your rear bench in the back, it's pretty decent. Another cool feature, these seats can literally turn into beds. Watch this. It's going to go flat. It is going to go flat all the way down. Look at that. You literally can lie here and have a 20-minute nap, or 18 minutes if you're at a fast charger. So that has been our episode on the Genesis GV60. I think I'm in love with this car. What have we found out? It's super quick. I think it was beeping because I still got the key in my pocket. Here it is. It's a actually good looking key as well. All of those quirky features. It's super futuristic. I think the premium one is probably the one to go for. It's a little bit cheap and you still get a lot of car. I've had a lot of fun with this. I want to know what you think about the Genesis GV60 down below in the comments. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you like something. Let me know what your favorite feature is. As always, throw us a like if you like the episode. Get a sub to Car Chat TV. Tell me you like something about this ski top I wore, and I'll see you on the next one. If you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. I've just popped up 2 more videos on your screen that you also may like. If you do watch one, let me know what you think.